Hello. Those of you who don't live in Davis are probably wondering, what does the sunset look like at a school on one of the flattest places on earth? It looks like that. Do you see the sun out in the distance? People frolicking in the field. This is where I find myself at sunset on this August evening in delightful East Davis, almost equidistant between the thoroughfares of 8th Street to the south and Covell Boulevard to the north. We like to walk through Holmes Junior High School after all the students have gone home because it's so peaceful here. And it gives us a sense of the agricultural roots of the city. Here, for instance, is a place where the children might gather. There's a little bit of a stage. I bet there's some pruning to be done before the summertime. And then over here, we've got this delightful red barn. We know that William Carlos Williams wrote a poem about the red wheelbarrow, but did he ever write a poem about a red barn? Such a thing could be investigated. Hello. My name is Dr. Andy, and I am your host here at Diary of a Quizmaster. It's time for another diary entry, this one about one of my former students. His name was John. He enrolled in my writing and fine arts class. It was around 2004, if I remember correctly. I remember it well. You know, when you teach for 37 years, it's hard to remember everyone. But I remember John because after enrolling in my writing and education class, did I say writing and fine arts earlier? After John enrolled in my writing and education class, he, in the subsequent quarter, maybe it was a year later, enrolled in my literary criticism class. John sat in the back, all the way to my right, up against the wall. And I knew him, of course, and I knew other students in that class. And one thing I love about such a class is that when you show up, there are already people that you can call upon. Look at the beautiful artwork that they have at this particular junior high school. USA of Microsoft, of course. USA Volleyball, 2017, Apple. I guess we're getting a sense of when this artwork was created. There is another rainbow of 2017 and a French croissant. This particular artist took 2 tiles to create his artwork. This one is shiny. Basketball fan. Representing so many different ideas of America. I like this one in particular. All are welcome, we are reminded. Here at Holmes Junior High School. You'll be able to see more of the artwork over my shoulder as I walk past the columns. Here's one for American Ballet Theater. I didn't want to finish walking past all of this student-created artwork without recognizing the ballet dancers. So my student John, as with my previous student John, remember the gargantuan basketball player in that video of about 2 weeks ago? This John was also tall, but not quite that tall. And I was able to challenge his attempts to stay hidden in this class on the principles of literary criticism, Plato to Coleridge, because of the fact that I had just taught him in a writing and education class. And I would use language in the class such as, John, you and I are both teachers. Almost everyone who took UWP 104D was a future educator. You and I are both teachers, John. So it's time for you to help me fill in the gaps. I'm asking challenging questions. I'd like to know your answers. And he'd say, well, Dr. Andy, when you have already taken a class with me and then you show up into one of my literature classes, you are absolutely required to do the reading because of how much I'll call on you, especially in the early weeks. I memorize the names of all of my students. Maybe that won't surprise you when I keep pulling up the names of students that I taught decades and decades ago. But I learned the names of all of my students, but some I know very well on the first day. I put all of my students on the spot, as Pema Chodron likes to say. And so they all get used to it. But the ones who I already know, such as my student John, they get used to it right away. I just checked on John on Facebook. We are not Facebook friends. He only has a couple dozen friends, one of whom is another student who's going to appear in this memoir. The sun is too low for me to catch any more of the sunset. So although John and I are not Facebook friends, I sent him a message on Facebook saying, John, it's been 22 years since I taught you those 2 classes, and now I'm retiring. Can you believe it? On Facebook, he had just the one picture of him and his significant other, I won't make assumptions, at Disneyland in 2018. Sure, why not? Not everyone has to use Facebook. But John, I always used John's last name when I spoke of him. I've had to bite my tongue several times. He has a monosyllabic last name. So I've been wanting to say his name like over and over again. I've stopped myself to protect his privacy. Hello. But I hope he's doing well. Thank you for taking one class with me and then bravely enrolling in another class. I put your bravery to the test that quarter. It was an important quarter for me. 2004, winter quarter that was. I remember it well for reasons that I'll go into when I film another video. I appreciate students who made an investment in me as their professor on multiple occasions, repeat customers, and I appreciate all of you for tuning in to another perhaps less narrative-filled edition of my remembrances of 365 students for the 365 days leading up to my last day of teaching. July 1st, 2027. It's right around the corner. I appreciate you joining me on this journey. Make sure to like or subscribe, and I'll see you next time for another edition of Diary of a Quizmaster. Bye-bye.